Hello everyone, my name is Amy Wilson and I'm currently a PhD student with the CCS in the Immunology department, and I'm here to talk about my honours experience, just to give you a little bit of what you're in for. So just a little bit about me. I did a Bachelor of Science, Medical Bioscience at Monash Gippsland, actually, when Monash Gippsland still existed. It doesn't exist anymore. And I got interested in wanting to do honours because I did a Sci 3990 research project. So what I did this project on was actually looking at diagnosing sheep parasites. So I really liked this kind of research vibe, so I thought, okay, maybe I'll see what I can do with honours. I'll go into honours, but I didn't really want to look at sheep parasites anymore. I thought that was a little bit boring. So I switched completely, looking at biomarkers for ovarian cancer when I got into honours in 2015. And then I realised that I liked doing research so much that I would do a PhD. And going from my honours to my PhD, I kind of changed my project again. I was still doing ovarian cancer work, but I switched to using immunomodulatory therapies for the treatment of ovarian cancer. So a bit of switching and changing, but that's my background. So what is honours? Honours is a laboratory-based project, so it's a bit different to what you're used to in your university, where it's mostly coursework based. You might have a few labs here and there, but pretty much all of honours is laboratory based. So I just wanted to go through a typical week in your honours year. So a typical week involves meetings with both your supervisor and with your team to go through any of your results, to go through your project, and just to bring up any problems that you might have. There'll be a lot of experimental planning, so obviously you'll get a lot of help with this, but you plan a lot of your own experiments, which is pretty exciting. A lot of lab work. A lot of honours is spent in the lab doing your lab work, and the rest of it is spent researching and writing up your results at your desk. Honours is an incredibly rewarding year, so it's only 9 months really, so it's a really rewarding 9 months. And it's a gateway to so many different careers and opportunities that you wouldn't usually get if you're just coming out with a science degree. So it just opens the door to so many other things, whether that's if you want a job in industry or in government or in research, and not even in the science discipline. You can go to other disciplines as well. And obviously it's a great starting point if you want to do a PhD and want to go that pathway. So here are my tips for choosing your project. Tip number 1 is super obvious. Pick something you enjoy or something that you're interested in. So if you hear a project and it really catches you and you think, oh wow, that sounds really interesting, pick that project. Number 2, choose your supervisor and your laboratory. So it's really important to have a supportive environment, and it's important to have someone in your lab that doesn't have to be your supervisor, but it can be a different postdoc or a research assistant that's really gonna be hands-on with you at the start, especially at the start when you're just doing all of your lab techniques and everything. I really recommend going into the lab and speaking to not just your supervisor but the lab members, just to see if it's a positive environment and to see if that environment suits your needs for your honours year, and just see what kind of opportunities they can give you or offer you for the future. And just note that you won't be stuck with that project for the rest of your career. So if you pick something and then halfway you decide, oh, I don't really like this, you can always change later. You're not stuck with anything. Don't be super stressed about if you pick something and it's like, oh, I don't like this anymore. It's fine. You can always change. So this is a really accurate graph of what happens in honours. So you start off writing your literature review. It's kind of relaxed and chilled out. You're like, oh yeah, this is pretty easy. You get into the lab, it can get stressful at times, and then sometimes you're not doing as much lab work, so that kind of goes up, down, and then you're like, oh, my thesis is due in a month, what do I do now? So my number 1 tip is be organised. So be prepared for this to happen in your honours year, but you won't explode if you are organised. So that's my number one tip. If you decide to do honours, please be organised. So I'll just give you a few misconceptions that people often think when they go into honours. So people think that it's a year of research that you'll have to do alone. It's really not. You'll get so much support from your lab members, from your supervisor, and even from other labs as well. It's a really supportive environment, and if you ever need help with anything, there's always someone to help you. People think that you'll be expected to know everything. You're really not. They more think that you'll know nothing, which is kind of good. So you kind of go in and they'll just teach you all of the lab techniques. And if you're not very good at writing, they can teach you how to write as well. So that's really good as well. They'll support you in everything that you're doing. Some people think that honours year equals no life. That's totally not true. You can have a social life and you can have a job, and there's a great social vibe here, but be organised. You have social life and job if you be organised. Just keep that in mind. And a lot of people think that their current grades will indicate how they'll perform in honours. So if you don't have really excellent grades, that's okay. It's not going to indicate how you're going to do in honours. So you might not be good at exams, but you might be good at working in the lab, or you might be good at researching and analysing. So if you don't have the best grades, don't worry, you may perform well in a research environment. So just kind of recapping honours at AMREP, it's a lot of collaboration and networking. So there's so many leading researchers and scientists here, so a lot of chance for networking and collaboration. You'll experience scientific research firsthand, so you'll find out if this is what you want to do as a career. We've got so many cutting edge technologies. We've got a really nice flow cytometry facility. We've got really good microscopy, immunomonitoring. So there's a lot of cutting edge technologies here that you can't get at a lot of other places. Again, surrounded by leading researchers and clinicians. You're connected to the Alfred Hospital, so there's the potential for translational research. Great location, Chapel Street just up the road, great food, great shopping. You're close to the city. Better than being in Clayton. And also flexible hours. If you have to come in early or you have to leave early, that's okay. If you need to come in late, they're really flexible here with hours. So if you still need to work to be in honours and everything, you can arrange something with your supervisor. So they're pretty easy with that kind of stuff. So thank you for listening to me. There's going to be a lot of people here tonight. There's going to be supervisors, researchers, students. So come around and talk to all of us, see what projects are available, and good luck. Thank you.